Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, obviously give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button? If you'd like to as well, you can hype videos now, if that's a thing. And of course, if you would like to, you can comment as well. Now, with all your comments, obviously the main thing with them is they do help out the channel. Secondly though, and more importantly to me, I love hearing back from you guys, whether you're just stopping by to say hello, whether you're commenting on a particular colour coordination that you're going for with your Stormcast Eternals, if you're going for a certain colour scheme with your Skaven, or if there's a certain faction from within the Spearhead range that you're really looking forward to getting your mitts on, why not drop it down below. It's super cool. I really love interacting with you guys. If you've got a little bit of cool Age of Sigmar lore that you may want to share, it's always welcomed, so why not? Anywho, this week we are on issue number 10 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead magazine. It is one of the best value issues that you can get your hands on. Now, this is a scalper's dream issue. For 10 quid, you get not one, not two, but you get 3 Stormcast Eternal Prosecutors. These are the flying reinforcements, the super cool looking, heavily armoured, but super cool looking good old Stormcast Eternals. I must admit, I love the Prosecutors. I love the original ones, which had the sharp pointed ends to the wings and everything like that, and were really, really cool. I love these guys as well. These guys are also really, really cool. In fact, I actually kind of prefer them because they have that nice uniqueness to their wings, and they have better looking helmets as well, in all honesty. Now, the thing with these is, obviously, for 10 quid, you're getting 3 Prosecutors. This is roughly, I think it's under a third of the cost of a box if you're buying it directly from GW, which you can only buy it through their website now. But for 10 quid, absolute steal. So you get 3 different individual good old Prosecutors. They all have a slightly different kind of tactical rock that they're jumping off of, which is pretty cool. They all have a slightly different wing position, and they all have a slightly different shield and spear position as well. So they are all very unique. Now, these are push fit minis, so you don't really need to go to massive lengths to glue these chappies together, because they are fairly straightforward and they are very, very cool. So I must admit, one of my favourite kits from the new Stormcast Eternals range, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. So really, really cool stuff. Yeah, can't say enough good things about these minis because they're really, really cool and super, super interesting. And there's some nice ways of getting the wings painted up as well, which I'll discuss with you in a little bit. Anywho, enough rambling on there. Why not, let's jump into the issue. So, obviously, we are first greeted by the Prosecutors themselves. Obviously, we get to do the usual thing, give them their battle record, so whether you can give them a unique name. If you really want to go even further details into it, you can name each individual Stormcast itself. I probably wouldn't, but, you know, you can if you want to. You get to tick off their moment of glory. You get to tick off whether you've built them, painted them, and played with them as well. And, obviously, on the other side of this bit here, we get their war scroll. So their weapon is a slightly unique weapon as well. They have the Stormcast Javelin. It is ranged and melee, so you can utilize it as both. The idea and the storyline behind how the Prosecutors work and everything like that is they can throw the spear, and the magic that is imbued within them and within their spear can rematerialise it in their hands and stuff like that, so they can throw it again and all that type of stuff. So they get to use it more than once. However, obviously it takes a little while, but it can be done and stuff like that. But it's a super cool idea. So they are really, really good. if you read the Skaven Tide novel, there is one of these chappies, one of these prosecutors, who is part of a reclusian chamber, and you have obviously the reclusians, you have the reclamation chamber. I can't even remember what chamber it's called now, but you have a good few. The story involves a good few of the minis that you get from that box set. So you have a Lord Terminos, you have a Knight Questor, you have a Lord Veritant and a Lord Vigilant mentioned in there, and all that type of stuff. So you have quite a lot of that going on in there, which is really, really cool. So, and you get a prosecutor in there, which is, they're not talked about too often in a lot of the Age of Sigmar novels, but they are a really, really good unit. So, enough babbling on about the novels. Moving on from there, obviously you have your build guide. Obviously it's a push fit mini. You don't need glue. Now, I'm not going to lie, the way the wings push together, I had a few issues with my original ones, which I've only actually built one of them, but I had a few issues where it wasn't pushing together very well and fitting into the gap. I had to literally sand the peg a little tiny bit on that flat edge just to make it fit properly. That can happen. It shouldn't happen, but it can. But obviously be aware of it. If you want to trim certain pegs off, you can do. You shouldn't really need to with these chappies. I found these actually went together fairly well, and I didn't really need to do much of that. But obviously everybody's different, and every kit is slightly different. So sometimes the process makes it slow. There's a millimetre of difference every now and then, or in nanometer and everything like that. So it can happen. Anyway, enough babbling on. Once you're done, you're going to have 3 super cool, good old prosecutors. Painting them, I'm not going to lie, my way of doing it, obviously, spray paint. Spray paint is your friend. Painting them up, I personally, for the one that I was started on, I've painted up the armour. I haven't painted up the shields. I've had the shields purposely separate from them for the time being, just so I can get into all the nooks and crannies and everything like that, because it makes it life a little bit easier. It's entirely up to you if you wanted to go about doing it the same way. But obviously, spray paint is your friend. It's far, far easier. You can get a nice look for all of it as well. Painting up is super easy. Going through all the guide, it's going to tell you some, fairly generic ways of painting it. And obviously, when we get further into it, it'll paint up the wings slightly different and everything like that. My personal way of painting up the wings is using Corax white, and then I utilised a shade in between, and then and over the kind of the frayed edges of the wings, and then, in all honesty, going back over with Corax white and white scar to get it nice and bright over the kind of bits, and just not going into any recesses, which is, I'm not gonna lie, time consuming. And then for all those frayed edges, the best way to do it, dry brush. If you want to get it a bit of a distorted kind of colour, a dry brush of whether you're going with, I don't know, white or anything like that, or you can go blue, grey, everything like that, or different colours, whatever colour you want to go for. A dry brush is really, really good. Now, you can obviously utilise your standard good old Warhammer dry brushes, which, they're not bad, they're pretty good. You can buy third-party dry brushes, or if you want a really cheap, decent option, order yourself some cheap makeup brushes from Amazon, or go to B&M or Poundland or anything like that. They generally have really nice soft bristles, and they are really, really good to use as dry brushes. So it sounds really daft, but they are really, really good. You just need to really, really rinse through them bristles of the brush, because they're quite thick, and there's a lot more bristles in a makeup brush than there is in a regular paintbrush, in all honesty, because they are slightly thinner and very fine, and they're very kind of soft as well, so they really, really absorb paint, but they're really, really good. They're very, very handy for dry brushing over things like that. So that's one way of doing it, if you wanted to do it that way anyway, but entirely up to you. If you're following the guide, once you've kind of base coated it, you can have something like that. Obviously, you're going to go over more of it over time, so you're going to use some Wayland Flesh Shade probably over it, over the gold areas, because that makes gold pop a little bit better. Stormhost Silver, all that type of good stuff. You're going to utilise it all pretty much over the course of time, but we'll get some really good looking minis, even if you're following the guide. If you're not following the guide and you want to follow your own kind of paint scheme or anything like that, go for it. In all honesty, they are your minis. Paint them how you want. Moving on from there, in all honesty, we have no lore, we have no fiction or anything like that in this issue, which is a bummer, in my opinion, but it is what it is. So we get a basics for our rules and play scenarios. So you obviously kind of recapping back over what we've learned so far. So you got recapping the attack, how to utilize the units of multiple models and their damage pool, obviously fighting in turns, battle sequences and everything like that. So we get to utilize all of that and then go through all the sequence. Whether you're going through priority roles and everything like that, as obviously you're going to need to know what is going to go first, and everything like that. You deploy alternately as well, and obviously your actual main phases of a battle. So you've got starter turn, hero phase, movement phase, shooting phase, charge phase, combat phase, and then your end of turn. Quite a lot to go through and quite a lot to remember, but the idea with a magazine is if you're playing along with it, you're going to pick things up more and more as you go. If you're playing fully separate from a magazine, the idea with all of these pages is if you're collecting it in a folder, you can have a folder that is essentially the rule book and how to play guide. So you can keep all those separate and spare and safe and everything like that and utilize it from there. Which makes life so much easier when you have all your sections in one place. If you're obviously a subscriber to the magazine directly from good old Hashit Partworks, you'll get a binder, which I think you should have had maybe this week. Maybe, I can't remember for sure. The binder, obviously, it's quite a thick binder. You don't want to be carrying that all the time with you, but you can get yourself a nice ring binder from Ryman, Primark, maybe probably actually, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Supermarkets or anywhere like that, you can get them dead easy elsewhere and cheaper, and carry it around like that if you wanted to, and you can have a folder for each individual section. I wouldn't recommend it because that's a lot of folders, but at least have a folder for all your play guides and everything like that, because it'll make it easier and know your basic rules, because that is a very utilizable bit. It's essentially having the rule book on the go. So, your choice. Anywho, I've rambled massively in this video. Obviously, if you're playing, you're going to want to play this new little battle to kind of give you more of the basics and everything like that. It's called Deadly Collision. If you're playing it, you are going to need the Lord Veritant, 5 Liberators, and 3 Prosecutors for your Stormcast Eternals. For your Skaven, you're going to be utilising the Grey Seer, Warlock Engineer, 3 Rat Ogres, and 10 Clan Rats. And you're going to need your battle mat. You're going to line them up on each end of it, and you're going to collide them, smashy, happy times. Obviously, the idea is to basically slay all of your opponent's minis, or do your best to try and get there. Going through all of it, obviously you are going to have different tactics and everything like that you may want to implement. You do have special rules for everything as well, so you are going to need to kind of know a bit about that. So this little kind of guide is very handy to have, so whether you need to utilize certain movements and so on. And in all honesty, it's pretty decent. Obviously, the way the magazine works is the more and more we go through everything, the more and more you're going to learn different bits and pieces, and you're going to expand your knowledge, and you're going to get better and you're going to get more in depth with it, and yeah, loads of cool stuff. Right then, next week is issue number 11, and it is a normal Stormcast Eternal. It is the Lord Vigilant on Griff Stalker. He's a pretty cool mini. Another one that I must admit, really good value for money. For 10 quid, that mini would be 25 to 35 pound off the top of my head. So getting it with this magazine is a steal. However, you know, these type of minis aren't always easy to get a hold of standardly anyway. Another one that's super cool, it is a push fit mini, so there's a lot going on with it. I'm not going to lie, I still haven't built my one of this chappy. I probably should one day, but then again, I've got a lot of other painting to get on with. But it's a really cool one. We get a new scenario, we get new abilities to talk about as well. Hopefully there's a little bit of lore in there, because we do love a little bit of lore, but I wouldn't count on it just yet. But yeah, it's going to be really good fun. Right then, in all honesty, that is more than enough from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.